PowerShell 7 is here, and in this video I'm going to tell you what it's all about and show you how to get it up and running. Let's begin with a quick history lesson. Windows PowerShell 1.0 was released back in 2006 and shipped with 130 commandlets. About every 3 years or so beyond that, we got a new version of Windows PowerShell up until 5.0 launched in 2016. Then a year later in 2017, we got the final version of Windows PowerShell 5.1. Now, I say final because we're talking about Windows PowerShell. Version 1 to 5 strictly ran on Windows, and it was built on the .NET framework, a development framework also designed specifically for Windows. That was the last version of PowerShell built specifically for Windows, because in 2018 we got PowerShell Core 6. Notice the name change there. It's no longer Windows PowerShell, it's PowerShell Core. And that's because PowerShell 6 was built on top of .NET Core rather than the full .NET framework. PowerShell 6 and .NET Core's claim to fame is that it's cross-platform. It runs on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. But because it was so young and not nearly as mature as the full .NET framework, it lacked features, compatibility, and commandlets. So while PowerShell Core 6 was cool being cross-platform, it seriously lacked in the power department. So the PowerShell team went back to the drawing board and said, you know what? We need one true version of PowerShell to rule them all. One version of PowerShell that combines the best of both worlds. The power of Windows PowerShell, the cross-platform capability of PowerShell Core 6, and boom, we got PowerShell 7. They dropped Core from the name. It's just simply PowerShell 7. It's the one true version of PowerShell and the only one we'll ever need going forward. PowerShell 7 shipped with almost as many commandlets as Windows PowerShell 5.1. It's loaded with new features, and it's based on .NET Core 3, which is far more mature than .NET Core 2 and contains a lot of backwards compatibility with Windows PowerShell modules. Let me show you a few ways that we can get it up and running. Let's begin with a manual installation of PowerShell 7 on a Windows 10 machine, and then I'll show you a really cool script the PowerShell team put together that will allow you to easily automate installation on multiple machines simultaneously. First things first though, we need to download that installation package, which you can grab from the PowerShell GitHub repository, which is where I'm at now. If you scroll down a little bit here, you will see Get PowerShell. Here are all of the supported platforms along with the installation packages in a variety of formats. You have the long-term support, stable, and preview downloads. Right now, LTS and stable are the same. They're both PowerShell version 7.0. Preview is PowerShell 7.1, which will release alongside the next version of .NET Core in the winter of 2020. So we're cool downloading either the LTS or the stable release here, as, again, they're both the same thing. So I'll just go ahead and hit run to fire right in to the installation wizard. We'll run the installation package, and this is about as easy as a next finish gets when it comes to installing PowerShell here. We'll hit next at the opening screen. There's the installation location, and I should point out that it installs side by side with PowerShell 5.1, and it will be an in-place upgrade to PowerShell Core 6.x. So we'll stick with the default installation directory. Here's the options you can choose from here. We'll just stick with the defaults. Hit next and install. And that's that. Pretty painless, huh? Let's go ahead and launch it. And just do a quick sanity check here by running a PS version table, and this will show us here that we are running PS version 7.0.0. Also notice here that the executable is pwsh.exe as opposed to Windows PowerShell, which was PowerShell.exe. And we can actually prove here that we can run side by side by launching Windows PowerShell 5.1. And once again here, let's just run a PS version table, and we'll see that they are running side by side on this Windows 10 system. So that's the manual installation process for PowerShell 7. Really simple and good for those one-off situations where you just need to get it installed on, say, your Windows 10 management box like we did here. But not so good when you need to install it at scale. Now, I have 3 other machines in my mini network here, all Windows servers. 2 of them are core machines. 1 is a desktop experience machine. And I'm going to show you this really cool PowerShell script that we can use in a one-liner to install PowerShell in the background on all of those 3 machines remotely. The PowerShell team threw this script together and supplied us with a one-liner that we can use to download and execute the script simultaneously. And you can run this one-liner, by the way, in Windows PowerShell or PowerShell 7. I'll use PowerShell 7. Here is that one-liner. Now all this does is download this PowerShell script, that's the installation script that the PowerShell team put together, using an invoke rest method, IRM being the alias for that commandlet. And this is a sub expression, so this will happen first. Then invoke expression, IEX being the alias for that commandlet, will execute that script passing in these two parameters. Now these are all Windows machines in my environment, which is why I'm telling it to use the MSI package, but this script supports Mac OS and Linux as well, so you can easily target other platforms using the appropriate parameters. We're also telling it to install in quiet mode, so it just installs in the background. Now, I expanded our command out a little bit because we want to send this command to all three of our machines. So I wrapped it inside of an invoke command targeting those three machines, and inside of our script block is that one-liner. So it'll just send this command over to all three of those machines and install PowerShell 7 in the background. About 5 minutes later, I got my command prompt back. That's a good sign. It means that package was downloaded and installed on all of those machines. Let's go verify it. First up is our domain controller, which I just logged into. I'm going to hit that start button and type out PowerShell, and look at that. There is PowerShell 7. So that installed successfully on our DC. I also logged into one of our server core machines, and we can verify this by running a start pwsh. Remember, not PowerShell, pwsh. And if we hit enter, this should fire up a new window, and here we are in PowerShell 7. So, successful installation on all of these machines remotely. The future looks bright for PowerShell 7. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button to get notified when new videos are available, and stay tuned for more PowerShell content. See you next time.